Would you like to be somebody who understands what the psychological benefit of praying is? Then listen to this entire video where I explain how when you pray, you enable yourself to plant a thought deep within your being, essentially in your unconscious mind, which can then take on that thought and act it out unconsciously. It changes your being essentially, which is not possible by just wishing for things like randomly throughout the day without actually dedicating time to praying. So before we get into this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to learn more about self-development, dating, Jungian psychology, and how to reduce suffering in life. Let's get into it. So obviously, praying is a central role of various different religions, for example, Islam and Christianity. Now, I would like to start by positing the idea that there is obviously some value in praying, because it would not be a central role in Christianity if it didn't have a significant benefit or value in it. So there's obviously something in it. And I've been thinking, like, I don't actually pray myself regularly, but I sort of feel like I should somehow. I somehow feel like I should. But why? That's the question that I'm going to try and answer today. So what I understand with praying is dedicating time to conversing with something that is beyond you, something non-physical, nothing specific, nobody specific, but something like everything. You're kind of conversing with everything. That's a really difficult idea to grasp, but I might do another video on that. So you're dedicating time to conversing with something beyond you. You are acting out some sort of physical posture. Like you are, I mean, when I think of praying, I think of like kneeling and, you know, like folding your hands like this or like this, whatever, something like that. Like your physical body is doing something, acting out something that is like a ritual. It is something very specific and unique. You're not doing that really in any other time of the day. And then finally, you're kind of subordinating yourself to something beyond you, because when you kneel down and you fold your hands, you're kind of like, I mean, this doesn't really like give it the idea of praying justice, but you know, a slave would kneel down to its master, and when you kneel down, you are kind of subordinating yourself to something that is more powerful than you are. Something like that. Okay, so let's start. When you pray, you plant a seed deeply within a field of peace. What does that mean? Let's break it down. Okay, so you have a seed. You're planting a seed. Let's say a thought. Perhaps you are seeking strength to overcome and succeed or pass an exam. Now, the seed here is that thought, and you want to pass the exam. And when you plant the seed has the potential to change and alter your life in some sort of way, because it is planted in a peaceful field and it is planted deeply. Now, what is the peaceful field? The peaceful field is a mindset and state of being that is calm, declouded from stress, has clarity, is peaceful, and especially open. That is the peaceful field that you're planting it in. And the peaceful field is peaceful, hence it can absorb the seed. It is able to nurture it. Whereas if the field was, you know, exploited, stressful, chaotic, the seed would not get nurtured as much. Okay, so this peace enables you to plant the seed deeply in the field, so it can stretch its roots firmly and develop a firm grip on the earth. So this seed, this thought, will survive and bring you fruit. So you need to plant it deeply. It needs to be a peaceful field, and it needs to be a seed. So when you are occupied, stressed, thinking about all the tasks you are still responsible to complete. You do not have the focus and attention needed to plant the seed deeply. All you have the time for is to throw the seed on the dirt, to scatter it on the dirt, on the surface. And that that is not conducive to the seed surviving and growing and changing your psyche. That's what it is. If you plant it deeply, it can grow a firm foundation in your mind, and will then pop up again later in your mind because it's still there, it's still grounded, and it will change you in some sort of way. For example, this is an example. Let's say you're stressed out about your exam. One way one sort of thought that might run through your head is, okay, I want to pass my exam. Let's say you're studying, you're stressed out, you're panicking, you're like, oh my God, I really hope I pass this exam, this is so important. Or you can take time off from studying, dedicate that time to praying, kneeling down or sitting down, folding your hands and closing your eyes and taking a deep breath and in your thoughts express your genuine hope to overcome this challenge that is necessary to progress in your education. So you speak through it, you run through the logic of the argument with a sense of calmness in your mind, and that is the act of planting the seed deeply in the field of peace, which will then grow and pop up again. Now, I would like to speak also about the openness, because when you kneel down and you fold your arms in your posture, there is a kind of posture that is open. And I'm not really referring to sort of bowing down like I think some Muslims do, but there's a painting or a picture, an old picture of Cain and Abel. And Abel, I think, on the left side and Cain is on the right. And Abel is praying, is on his knees, I think, and he's looking upwards. He has this open posture to something that's above him. Whereas Cain is sort of crouched over the sacrificial table that he's sacrificing something on, and he's blowing into the smoke, which is not catching light. The sacrifice is not catching light, and he's closed. He's not open. But when you sit down and you fold your arms, you subordinate yourself openly to something that is more powerful than you are. Yes. And what happens then is I think you let go of the outcome of whatever you are praying about. For example, the outcome here would be that you want to pass your exam. You don't necessarily let go of it because obviously you still want to pass it, but you are no longer stressed about, you don't panic about passing it. You kind of have this equanimity then. And you take this leap of faith that the outcome will be okay, and also simultaneously you take responsibility for the outcome. Not for the outcome, for the process before the outcome. Because you say, I genuinely hope I can pass this exam. And you do this openness, this, you are innocent, you are genuine, and you are humbling yourself. And when you do that, you take responsibility because it somehow hits you in your moral conscience that you have what it takes to pass the exam, sort of something like that. And the thought resonates with you genuinely and naturally, not in sort of like a stressful ego way, like I need to pass this exam so my parents will be proud of me, or that people will think I'm intelligent. It's more like, this is a challenge, I will take it with hard work and do my best to pass it, something like that. Yeah. And what happens then, I think, if you can sum all of this imagery of, planting the seed in the field, what you're doing is you're declouding the bridge between your conscious and unconscious mind, and you are enabling then the thought to walk over the bridge into your unconscious mind, which is basically the control panel that guides the majority of your behaviors and your thoughts. It's your instincts. It's sort of like that. Part of it is your instincts. Your unconscious mind then acknowledges this wish to pass the exam, and it incorporates it into the control panel and guides your behavior accordingly to make that wish come, be fulfilled or actualize itself. Yeah. So, in conclusion, praying is psychologically beneficial because you open up the bridge between your conscious and unconscious mind, and you plant a seed deeply into that unconscious mind, which then incorporates it, and the seed, because you plant it deeply, because you take time to think about nothing other than your prayer, you take the time and energy to plant the seed firmly, and it ingrains itself into your unconscious mind, which will then hold on to that thought, and because it holds onto it, it actually manifests itself from now on in your behavior and your other thoughts. It merges into the other aspects of your life and your thoughts and your goals and, your mood. Because the tree then grows up from your unconscious mind into your consciousness, and the branches intertwine with the rest of your consciousness, and then your consciousness absorbs this color from the tree, and the consciousness will reap the fruits from the tree, something like that. Yeah. So I do myself want to pray more frequently in the future now and dedicate time to doing that, because it's like a meditative task. I think it is very beneficial, and there's a reason why religions encourage it so frequently. So please leave a comment below whether you think there are any other benefits to praying and meditating on a thought or a wish or a hope, let's say. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to learn more about self-development, dating, Jungian psychology, and how to reduce suffering in life. Thank you for listening.